If you follow my previous videos, you know I've had issues with the inverter for the computer in the forwarder, and it was under warranty. I returned the cheapo unit I had purchased, and the new one that arrived had the same problem. It's kind of charges the computer but somehow causes it to just reboot the program. So I purchased a much more expensive inverter. It feels a lot heavier and more solid, so it was fired up. Just test started it and seems to charge the computer just fine, and no restarting the program for the machine, so that seems like an easy fix. Just buy a good inverter. Another one of these gold curtains have failed, that it's not retracting as it should. This one has never been opened, so there are some rivets you need to drill out to open it. There are 4 of them, 2 on each side, and then a punch to push out the remainder of the rivet. The caps can be taken off, and then the assembly can be slid out of the housing. And there is a rod that helps tension the long spring that's inside this rod. There are 2 plastic pieces, one should spin and the other should not, and the one should be in place. I think it's glued when it was new, and the glue was let go after all the years, and as I did with the other one, I do the same thing here. I just drilled. It was a little tricky drilling on the side of the hole where that tensioning rods. So I had made a little mark and kind of drilled through the metal and then tried to angle it down through the plastic, but as it was going to make its way out of the metal on the other side, it felt like it wasn't really grabbing, so I was worried about it drifting further into the plastic. So I turned things over and I could see a little mark where it had kind of started making, so I could punch that and drill through it and get it all the way out. And then I leave the drill in place and just cut it off. So that's the lock pin that makes sure it cannot spin anymore where it shouldn't. A tiny bit of glue on the ends, just to ensure that the pin doesn't move. Then it's the tricky part about tensioning things up properly. Lost grab of things a couple of times before I was happy with the tension, but eventually it got there and I could assemble it and just use some short screws instead of the rivets, so it's easier to take it apart should I need to again. I hope I don't have to now. Feel like I'm an expert at repairing these. That's it for the forwarder for now. More will follow.